potty train your infant? I started at 4 months because there's so much other things you're trying to do, and I wish that I had started sooner. Hey guys, my name is Shayla. Welcome to my channel. If this is your first time here, I talk about motherhood, I talk about pregnancy, I talk about all the freaking things that you learn when you have a baby, because there's a lot. I'm kind of granola, a little hippie, a little just like to do things the natural way. So if you're into that, please subscribe. We're trying to get to 100,000 subscribers. This video is, can you potty train your infant? What? I am not an expert in this. In fact, I failed at it for like a long time, and now I'm finally getting the hang of it enough to share my experience with you. I will give you resources where you can get the actual knowledge on how to do this if you want to do it. But I want to share with you what I did, how I did it wrong, things that I needed, things that I learned, and some tips that I have from my experience with it. So I'm going to start with my babysitter's downstairs. I'm a little self-conscious about making these videos. I don't even know what to say to her. I just hope that she can't really hear me. Anyway, also, you probably can't tell, but we bought a new king-size bed. Oh my gosh. And why does it look so terrible? Oh, that's here. This is a pillow. Maybe I'll just move that pillow. I feel like I'm a real adult now that I have a king-size bed. I have a babysitter. I'm like, I have a babysitter. I just haven't really fully wrapped my mind around that I'm like a mother. We just bought a house. I feel like you're one way or the other. Like, you either graduated and you were like, I'm an adult now, or you're constantly like, wait, I'm an adult? Not that I don't do my responsibilities. Anyway, let's get started. Can you potty train your infant? Some cultures, probably not very many, don't have diapers or don't use diapers. It's just normal that you would potty train your infant. Before I switched this channel over to a mommy channel, I was like a full-time travel channel. So to me, it's like cultural. I would say that we have not potty trained, but she definitely understands what the potty is. So we're not, they call it catches. We're not catching every time she goes to the bathroom, but she knows that when she sits down, she knows what to do. And if she has to go, she goes. And if she doesn't, she doesn't. And I used to sit there with her forever like, okay, come on, you gotta go, you gotta go. And now if she has to go, she goes and she's off. If she doesn't go right away, I just take her off because I know that she doesn't have to. Does that make sense? Resources that I want to give you are this book, Go Diaper Free. She also has a podcast. So if you are into this, start listening to the podcast to get some information. It is awesome. It just explains to you what you need to know to do it. You can start this like day one of your child being born. I started in the 4-month sleep regression, and that week was just a week. I was tired, plus I was like, yeah, let's try and do this like potty training thing. I just gave up. I literally was like, forget it. And then I have people following me, messaging me like, oh my gosh, thank you so much for telling me about Elimination Communication, which is what this whole thing is called. My baby's doing it. We're catching a couple eliminations a day. What? Seth started trying again because Seth was the one that was super adamant, and I feel like a lot of the men are the ones that are like, yeah, let's get our baby potty trained because they don't want to deal with diapers. Seth started doing it again, and I was like, yeah, okay, let's try it again. And we tried again probably about 6 or 7 months, and now she gets it. Let me keep going. So I am an affiliate with them, so they gifted me a potty. That's where she potties. I get disinfectant wipes, and I wipe out the seat whenever she goes, because sometimes she gets a hold of it and I'm not trying to have her put it in her mouth and all sorts of weird stuff. So they also have these, they're called tiny undies, and that's exactly what they are, and they're so freaking cute, but they're padded. There's like a little panel, goes all the way to here, all the way to the front. These are when you're trying to figure out your baby's cues for when they have to go to the bathroom. I also got this one. I prefer this because you can see when it's wet. This one is harder to see when it's wet, but you sit with your baby and try and figure out their cues for when they have to go. I failed at that. I will talk about that more in a second. Those are the things that I would recommend. The book, the potty, and then you can buy a potty hat. We have one, but I couldn't find it. I think it's in the wash. It's just this like material that goes around the top, so she's not just sitting on the plastic, but she doesn't care about the plastic anymore. We also do cloth diapering, and I think that the pairing of cloth diapering and EC is perfect. I think that sitting in a wet diaper helps them understand faster that like this is uncomfortable, where with disposables it pulls it away so quickly that who cares if they pee in their diaper. So I like the combination of the two. I have a whole video on cloth diapering and how we do like an 80-20 cloth diaper, disposable diapers at night kind of thing. With cloth diapering, when they're exclusively breastfeeding, you can just throw in the washing machine because their breast milk poop is water soluble. If they're doing formula or solids, it is not. So you need to spray it off and then put it in the wash. I bought a hose. It's like a bidet where you spray off the diaper when it gets pooped on. That's what I use when she poops in her potty. I spray out the poop. So it's kind of actually really handy. I know somebody else who uses their peri bottle, so like that works just fine. Here's how my experience happened. I started at 4 months because there's so much other things you're trying to do, and I wish that I had started sooner. In my defense, she was mobile so early, so I'd set her on it and she would try and crawl off. Well, how am I supposed to do this? So I'm trying to figure out her signals, and I'm trying to put her on the potty, and she's just crawling off. Yeah. Then I started doing transition times, and transition times are like after she wakes up in the morning, after she wakes up from a nap, after we get out of the car seat, after she eats in her high chair, like times where she's not going to want to go, like they don't want to go when they're in a car seat like that. I almost catch every single morning from her. And even if her diaper's wet, I still put her on it to try, and I've caught a lot like that as well. And then you can tell when she's like grunting or when she's like bearing down a little bit, let's go get the potty, and then I'll get the potty. And it's been so nice because I haven't had to clean as many poopy diapers now. I catch almost all of her poops. Before I was doing like 1 dirty diaper a day maybe. Now I'll do, I don't know, 1 a week, maybe 1 or 2 a week. So what we started doing was we'd put her on it, and we go like this, which is toilet, and we're like, okay, go toilet, go potty. We'll grunt. We'll be like, so now when she sits on the potty, she'll just go, and you can see her stomach working. And that's when she makes that sound off the potty, I know that she needs to be on the potty. That's what we've been doing. So I catch almost all of her morning ones, and then after her second nap, I'll usually catch something, and then it's kind of hit or miss for the rest of the day. That's okay. The whole point is that she understands that this is what you do when you're sitting on the potty. From what the book said, you don't need to catch all of them. You just need to catch some of them. Some people are concerned, like, can my kids go to daycare? What if I do it part-time? Yeah, you can do all of that. It's just the association with the potty to go. I'm only a couple months in, so maybe I watched this in a year and I'm like, no girl. She went through like a couple days where she didn't sleep very well, and I think it was just like, honestly, I think it was a sleep regression, which you look up like 6 months sleep regression. Yeah, there's one. 7 months sleep regression. Yep, 8 months sleep regression. Yeah. You can find a sleep regression for any age that your child is in. Somebody's like, you should try cutting out caffeine. I think it's just a blip. I don't think that I need to cut caffeine, but I'm giving it a go. So we're like 3 days in. I'm just drinking decaf and water. Here are my final thoughts on EC. Andrea says not to praise her, so not to say, oh, good job. You can say yay, or you can say, does that feel better to go in the potty? Observe and comment on what's happening, but not to say good job, implying that there is a bad job. The whole point is having her want to do it instead of having her do it because I want her to do it. Because that was one con that somebody DM'd me about. They can like hold it, and that can be really bad for them. She now poops probably every other day, and I keep track of it just to make sure that this doesn't happen. Sometimes I still say good girl. I'm working on saying something else. And I'll probably, when we move in like a month and a half, I'm gonna do some vlogs about that too. I'm probably gonna start pottying her, setting her potty on the toilet so that she kind of understands that this is where you do this. And I feel like that could be a good transition time when we move to the new house. It also might be a time where she's like, forget it, this is too stressful, I'm not doing this anymore. So we'll see. I'm curious to see how this progresses with potty training. Those are like my resources, my items, my experience with it. I'm really happy that we started and that we failed and that we went back to it. I'm glad that we tried again. I'll keep you posted on how it goes. So maybe I'll do another update in like 6 months or something, just to kind of tell you how it's going. If you want to follow me on Instagram, sometimes I talk about there, sometimes I don't, because I don't know that people want to hear about my kids' bathroom going. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope this was helpful. Please subscribe, please like, and I will see you next time. Mwah. Bye.